Hey, so the other day I was listening to Lisa Collins. She was reading Where the Wild Things Are on Facebook Live to kids, but I don't know how many kids were there. It was just a bunch of adults who were in the middle of COVID-19 listening to a familiar, safe Charlestown voice and enjoying it. So it made me think at the end of it, like, who are the people in this community who have familiar voices, calming voices, anchor voices, if you will? And so we just began asking people these same four questions. And so I'm excited today to talk with Derek Gallagher. I've already talked with his brother Jason, and Derek's the executive director at the Boys and Girls Club. And so Derek, man, thanks for joining me. I guess the first question I would ask is, what's the best thing that you've seen from people in Charlestown during COVID-19?
Probably, so in the last 9 weeks, probably just Charlestown's a tight-knit community. People move away, they come and go. But I think people will always feel the connection to the community, school they went to, and especially the club. So me personally, whether getting text messages, phone calls, emails, people calling the club directly if they don't have my or anybody else's personal information, just seeing what they can do. People have written some large checks going, we want this to go for gift cards for families. People have said, hey, I have access to get dry goods. People say, hey, I know somebody who can get us. So kind of people just all in saying, what can I do in any way, shape, or form? Like, do you need me to, what do you need me to do? What can I do for the club, for the kids in the club now? Because at some point in their life, myself included, my brother included, I wouldn't be where I am without the club in normal times, never mind during the COVID and the pandemic that's going on now. We're doing everything in our power just to make sure families, children get everything.
I love that, man. One thing I love about Charlestown is it's not just like money, but it's also like skills and gifts and other relational connections. But man, everybody wants everyone to thrive. What a rare neighborhood in America. So what would you say?
Sometimes it's just
Go ahead.
mental support. Sometimes it's just mental support, checking in and going, hey, what can I do? And sometimes it's nice just to appreciate it, going, hey, listen, thanks. We didn't know you guys were doing this, any chance. So, I mean, everyone's going through it. Sometimes it's, even you and I talking right now, it's a connection. I'm like, I missed the connection part. So this is helping me too.
That's good, man. What's one word of encouragement that you would offer to people in the community?
Oh, it's kind of cliche-ish, but like hope. I know that's kind of a cliche, and it's an Obama thing, which I appreciated when he had it. I dearly appreciate it, and I miss it. But I do think that we're hopeful that we are going to be open at some point. We're hopeful that we're through this. We're hoping kids are doing well, that parents are doing well, families are doing well, they're doing their schoolwork. But I am hopeful that when we get through the end of this, we'll be in a better place as a community and as a country and a world.
That's good, man. I think people can survive without money. They can survive without jobs. They can survive. But man, when you lose hope, it is like, it's a rough spot. And there are people in the middle of this who are on the edge. And so, like you said, I think just these voices hopefully are encouragement to people. When this is over, what's the first thing you're going to do?
There's two things. I've always been like, if I see someone I knew where I grew up, I'm a shake hands, I'm a hug person. Hey, how are you? How you been? How's the family? I find myself when I see people on the street or even they come into the club for something, I do this step forward and go, I gotta back off now. That's one. And two, I know everyone's trying to do this. I'm dying to be able to sit down and watch a game. Like, I'm dying for NBA basketball playoffs. I'm dying for the NHL playoffs. And I want to see my friends and sit there and say the Celtics are on tonight. But I think it's more just that connection. I think it's more being close to people, having conversations, being in groups, laughing. You know what I mean? So in a selfish way, that's kind of where I'm at.
That's a good one. You're the first person to mention sports, and I love it. That's one of the things that I miss a lot, is just that camaraderie. You know, Jerry Seinfeld said, you're not cheering for a team, you're just cheering for your laundry, essentially. Exactly. We love that laundry. We love that green and white or that black and gold, we love that. So that's a good one. Yeah. What is there anybody else that you think, man, the community should hear from that person? That's a powerful voice.
You talk to my brother, so he's the smart one of the Gallagher brothers. I think he's still in school after 40 some odd years. I don't know. No, you mentioned a few other. I mean, anyone with the schools, because I think the strong part about this community is that obviously my brother's the principal down the Kent. We bring in the sports. We go to the Celtics games. We have season tickets. We sit there. I would say 75% of what we do at that game isn't necessarily talking about the game. It's talking about what the town needs, what families are struggling, what families are doing fantastic, who the players are, what's being done as far as like the community itself. So Miss Griffith, Tracy over at the Elliott School, she's another one. Miss Davis, the principal up at the Warren Prescott. I like the fact that during, so-called normal times, usually a text message or a phone call, an email about checking in, or someone needs a little extra help here, or can you help me with this? I think they'd be good during this time, because I do think that the best thing about our schools is that we're all kind of in contact and we're all working with the same kids, and we want our families and our children to be successful. So I think you go principal route or
That's
teacher
great.
route. Yeah.
And something your brother said was he referenced our elderly in Charlestown. He was like, man, they are Charlestown. But I love what you do and what your brother does as well, because the young people are Charlestown too. Like this,
Yeah.
they're not just the future of Charlestown, they're the present. And so, man, thank you for the difference that you make. Any last words before we wrap up?
No, thank you for doing this. Great to meet you over Zoom. And no, I just, my last thing is I'm encouraged by what I've seen this community step up on, is giving us the opportunity at the club, knowing that we have access to families, children, that everyone seems to be working together. And I'm proud of Charlestown itself. I really am. It's nice. And that's why we live here. That's why I'll never leave here. That's why I'm proud to be from Charlestown. You're from Charlestown. You should be proud of it. So what you're doing right now, I think is huge.
Thanks.
So otherwise, let's just get to the end of this, and I don't know, our new normal, I guess.
That's a good word. Let's end it there, man. Stay well. Thank you so much for your time. Look forward to getting to know you a little bit more in the future, Derek.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
You good with it?